You picked up the advantage in the water well in front of multiple people. A lot of people thought that was a terrible place for the advantage, and you said you regretted picking it up. So, what are your thoughts of where it was placed?
It's Survivor. Like at the end of the day, it was in the water well. I wish I was there by myself, but if you want drama, you put stuff, in the like that's what happened. So I picked it up, I read it, and at that point I made the decision, to go for it. I did offer it to everybody there. I thought it was a way that we could build trust. If us four as a foursome really kind of kept the information tight for a vote, just that much, that little bit can build trust. And
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that wasn't happening, I had to go tell my people before it could get around that I got it.
Got it. The advantage was already systematically voted out of the game. Now it's been voted out the second time, and it hasn't been properly used yet. It seems like castaways don't like this level of power, and some fans question if the power should continue to be part of the game. What are your thoughts?
I feel like it's fun. It's a fun thing to watch. Like it may not be fun as a player. I do think there's things they could do with it as far as making it maybe a permanent thing, meaning that you can't vote it out. So either it has to be used or it can be willed to somebody. So it doesn't make somebody an automatic target when they get it. So for instance, if I have knowledge of power, if you vote me out, I can will it to anybody. Therefore, you're more likely to not vote me out or make me try to use it. So it activates gameplay. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's the show, it's the game. It's not meant to be fair. It's a rock draw. Like it's Survivor. Like it is what it is.
Got it. So you're like more producer involvement, which I don't know. I don't know if a lot of fans would agree, but it's a strategy. It would definitely be used then. You told your allies about this advantage. Cody said you knew about his immunity bracelet and then he gave it to Jesse. Did you notice that?
Um, if Cody was going to give it to anybody, he was going to give it to Jesse. So I would assume that Jesse had it. Didn't know about Jesse's second idol. So I wasn't actually at the tribal with Jesse. So if I ever was like really, really sweating, I
Mhm.
probably would have tried to steal an idol from Jesse. If
Okay.
like that's where I was headed, but he wasn't at this tribal. So, rock draw. It's kind of what happens.
Got it. Some tribes were able to figure out where other idols were because they knew about the beads. Was there any talk about Carla's idol because of this?
So it was kind of two different things that were happening. One, we didn't know where the idol was, but that was a good thing because no one knew where the idol was. So that's the reason why the votes were split. So the other side splitting the votes instead of just piling the votes on made it easier to manipulate the votes. So if they're thinking, oh, we're splitting James and Cass instead of putting 8 votes on me, that it's easier for me to flip the vote or for Coco to flip the vote. So we're not trying to bring it up if they think that someone has it. It's almost working in that sense that they're splitting votes, weakening their power, allowing, the flip to happen on Ellie, allowing the flip to happen on Dwight, which kind of flipped the game in our favor for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. To talk about Ellie and Owen. You wanted Ellie out because she got it gave like the biggest runaround after the merge of who she wanted to vote out, and it was Cody, but wouldn't say it. You also had some distrust with Owen by telling him to vote wrong, and then telling him that he was good in the immunity challenge. He knew that wasn't the case. You were still upset that he wasn't trusting you. Why were you pushing so hard for Owen to not be mad at you when, yeah, at the end of the day, like it seemed like he was on the wrong side of the vote, and I think a lot of people would take it very personally to be like, "Oh, you purposely made me
So,
vote wrong."
so yeah, I understand completely, but at the end of the day, everybody was lying to Owen. So I would take it personally that Sammy and Gabriel didn't tell me about the Ellie vote. I would take
Mhm.
it personally about a lot of other things happening with votes. Not the person that I tried to vote out twice telling me that to vote for my ally. Like Ryan was the vote because it was a vote on Janine, idols in play. Without having a backup plan, 2 votes on Ryan, it exposes a lot of people. So everybody was trying to get Owen to vote for Ryan. It wasn't just me.
Mhm.
Like, so for it to come back on me, I'm just like, all right, you're directing it towards me, but you try to vote me out. We're not working together. The people that you've been working with have been lying to you to all game. Like, why are you directing all your stuff at me instead of bringing a plan? Like, when I say my mind isn't made up, it's just kind of like, oh, he starts snapping. And I was like, I say, I'm like still trying to figure out. My mind's not made up. Is there a plan here? No, it was just be mad at James, which is fine. It's the game. It's frustrating. He's passionate about it. I'm passionate about it. We're both super fans. It's just kind of, for me, I just felt we're playing Survivor. Why would I tell you that your ally is going home?
Mm. Well, I think one is like, I don't know if he had much power to really flip. It doesn't
But
seem like Owen has a lot of power.
it,
He's
it,
been on
it,
the
it,
bottom.
but with that vote, notice Kaz voted for Ryan. If they would have
Uh-huh.
just voted like, so there's this whole thing about trying to be on the right side of the vote.
Mhm.
Instead of just, like if they would have just voted for Ryan and said forget it, Ryan would have went home.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So it's kind of like so it's kind of you have to work the votes. Like
Mhm.
Kaz wanted to vote Ryan, but if no one goes to Kaz and
Mhm.
tries to get Kaz's vote, I don't know, like you're immune. Like go make a move. I don't know what to say. So I
Yeah.
was just frustrated that everything's directed towards me.
Mhm.
Also, I've been the target of the last 3 votes.
Mhm.
So like I'm feeling like I feel like everybody is coming at me.
Mhm.
So which is the actual case?
Yeah.
Everybody is coming at me. So I have a reason to be angry, upset, and I'm still being cordial. And that was
Mhm.
where my head was.
Okay. What do you think of Owen's read that you're gaining like the Godfather? Even Carla, your ally, agreed that the perspective, at least, was that you were running things, which increases your threat level.
I mean, I appreciate that people thought I was playing the game well and that I was doing a good job. And I feel like I was playing hard, one, because I had to, because my name was getting written down. I feel like to this since the merge, I've been the primary focus of the votes that I've gone to tribal each time. No one didn't see Janine was targeting me. That's why we went after Janine. Where it's like after that vote, it's like she's like, I'm a free agent. So we have a good talk on the beach after the vote. I'm like, Janine, and then she came after me. Noelle came and told me Janine's plotting on me. I'm like, well, Janine has to go because I thought we were going to be good. It wasn't just like we're picking on Janine. Like Janine was a threat. Like she was playing hard. Like Dwight was playing hard. Ellie, they were playing hard, and they were really threats to specifically my game. Like they were really coming after me specifically. So that's why I had to activate and play harder because they were coming after me. I didn't want to leave my fate in someone else's hands.
Okay. You butted head with Cassidy multiple times. She wanted Ryan out because he was gunning for her. You turned her down. She later voiced her frustration with women continuously going home over male threats, and you argued Janine could be a physical threat as well. Did those disagreements affect your relationship as allies?
Cat, I feel like the best part about me and Cass's relationship that we can have that conversation and move beyond it. Like I let Cass express herself fully in those situations. As like so being able for her to communicate that, and I heard those communications and I communicated back. Janine's trying to vote me out. Like if you can get Janine to stop trying to vote me out, then we're good. But me and Cass are great. Like that was like my day one at Coco. Cass is my first alliance that I made out there. We were really, really tight. So I was just glad that Cass felt comfortable enough communicating that to me. So I felt like that was just a sign of a good, relationship. The fact that you can air how you think. For me, seeing a bunch of the African Americans go was something for me too. So it's kind of just like everybody has their thing in the game, and that's how the game works now.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever voice that to Cassidy?
No, I didn't. I mean,
Okay.
I kept that part out. I wanted to keep as much of that for me out of the game just because I just didn't want to go there in the game. But that's like the real world. Like you look and you see kind of what happened. You're like, well, I mean, hey, this is what it is.
Yeah. We see other people's strategy when it comes to their allies. I think that Jesse and Cody come to my mind because we saw Jesse be like, okay, my priority of voting out this time around was this. But he's like, but you have to make other people feel like they're also in control. So he like ran the vote by Cody, and Cody's like, actually, I want this to happen. And he went with it to build that trust. I'm wondering, did you ever consider like that kind of gameplay? Because just like you said, you were worried about Owen and certain people because they're gunning for you. I think Cassie's saying this person's gunning for me, and it was kind of played down. Maybe because it's the votes. You did say we have the votes. Why is she even worrying? But I think it's for the allies to continue, it has to feel equal. And I think that's where the Godfather part was coming in. So did you ever think of switching up the strategy?
But the Godfather part came from Owen and not from Cassidy. Like you don't ever
Mhm.
see Cassidy talking bad about me in a tribal or a confessional. Me and Cassidy had a really good relationship. With
Yeah.
regards to the boot order with women, like I was trying to work with the women. They were trying to vote me out. So for instance, like Lindsay wasn't supposed to go home. We were trying to take out Gia. Like I actually I was working with the women. So
Mhm.
like I feel like it's a great like, something that people want to push, but at the same time, everybody was making the best decisions for themselves at the time being. And you advocate for your moves. And like what I would say is people didn't come to cast with any moves to take out Ryan. Like no one said with numbers, let's take out Ryan and move forward. Everybody's like, oh, let's take out Ryan, but let's keep everything separate. So no one really wanted to put their foot in the ground to actually like make a move that day, at least from what I remember. So that's the way I remember it. And this person's coming at me, like after we have a conversation saying that I'm not coming at her.
Yeah.
So what do you mean do?
Yeah. You got to celebrate your birthday with your tribe. You made the bold move of telling them that you wanted to explore for the idol. Why did you decide to tell them instead of like coming up with a lie of like, oh, I just want to like go on for a walk?
That whole sequence, I don't know how if that sequence was as sequenced as how it happened, but
I
at the
did
same time,
notice. I did notice when you hear you saying, "I want to look for an idol." I don't think we see you say it. We hear it.
yeah. I mean, yes. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not that bold of a player.
Okay.
Like, if I did say that order, it's probably like in a joking manner, not like in like literally. It's like when I asked Carla, like Carla, you want to let me get that bracelet, that idol bracelet off of you? It's like a joking manner. I feel like you hear them talk about my social game, but you don't really see my social game. Or you see like, oh, Jane is strategic, but you didn't really see it. Like you're just hearing it. So I feel like me being jokey, me keeping the fire going, like me cracking jokes, me having everybody play Mafia, me having everybody play bocce ball on the beach, like really like making sure everybody's having good times out there wasn't necessarily showed, but there's a reason why I was being targeted,
Mhm.
like, playing the game.
Yeah. Do you remember then how you said it
What part? Which one?
about looking for the idol?
I probably want to look for an idol. Like I feel like at that point, like Lindsay came back, I'm like, let's have some fun. I'm literally kind of like I'm very like open. I really wanted to play. And at that point, we hadn't lost, and everybody was still kind of tight. Where it's like we haven't been to tribal. No one knows where the lines are. No one wants to really disappear for 2 hours looking for an idol. Like it's just kind of everybody is waiting for something to happen, and that's the point where it was at on my birthday. So I mean, looking for idols. Like when you're walking to the boardwalk, you're looking for an idol. Anytime you're walking, you're looking for an idol. So everybody's always looking. It's just kind of one of those things where you just don't make it like obvious.
Yeah.
So
Were you suspicious of Carla at all when she was like, "Oh, if there's like a beware advantage, what would you do?"
no,
That
because me and Carla talk game all the time. Like I mean, as far as like, so I like Carla was like my work wife out there. Where like me and Carla talk game all the time. You see us running things or her running things by me, like I was running things by her. Like we were always talking about scenarios, and that's a good partnership. Where like for me, I was trying to downplay advantages because we haven't seen an idol played right in how long. Like I mean, at the end of the day, like the way the game is played now, you're blindsiding everybody. You're assuming people have idols. You only have so many votes. So I look at idols or advantages as a ways to influence votes that you don't have influence on. Like you only have so many votes you need. So the likelihood of you using on you in this new era is very tough. So like, because it happened in 41, then in 42, maybe in 39 with Dean possibly, but that was someone giving him the idol. So like literally it's really hard to use an idol in this game. So I was just trying to downplay those threats like, hey, you get it. I didn't want Carla targeting me because I thought the idol was crazy, even if she got one. So